Breaking news. One person is dead and another in custody following a shooting at Purdue University's West Lafayette campus in Indiana. We'll have more information later in the update. Coming up, the One World Trade Center is almost complete after years of planning, and a historical moment is made for space exploration in our universe. We'll be right back with your update. Hello Valpo, thanks for joining us for your Wednesday news update. I'm Caiti Blase. More in our breaking news. Police confirmed the victim who was shot and killed to be 21-year-old Andrew Bolt. The suspect, 23-year-old Cody Cousins, was taken into custody by police. The shooting occurred at noon in the basement of the electrical engineering building on campus. The first report of the shooting was confirmed by Purdue's official Twitter account. Students were told to stay in their location and find a safe place.
I want to make it clear that this doesn't appear to be what you would typically have as like an active shooter on a campus. This individual seemed to have had intentions for the decedent and took the action the individual took.
The university says that special counseling services for students will be available during this time. After a decade of planning and construction, the One World Trade Center is almost complete. The Trade Center features several floors of office space and a theater. It stands at an impressive 1,776 feet. Jason Sanchez of CNN has more.
After a decade of planning and construction, One World Trade Center is getting ready to open for business by the end of this year. But before it opens, CNN Money got a sneak peek at what the tallest building in North America will look like from the inside. Workers are still building out the lobby, but there are already some distinctive nods to the original World Trade Center complex.
This beautiful white marble is from the same quarry as the marble that was in the lobby of the original Twin Towers.
And the entrance is starting to take shape.
See, the floors are in, the walls are in, the ceilings are in. Behind me is a blast wall that protects the lobby, and these slats bring natural light in.
Up on the 63rd floor, we saw what finished office space will look like for some of the building's tenants.
This is our marketing center, and it gives prospective tenants a sense of what the building will look like when it's built out and occupied. This floor is about 40,000 square feet. The building tapers as it gets up, so that the floors get a little bit smaller. The asking rents below the 64th floor are about $75 a square foot, and up above it's upon request.
Barowitz says 55% of the office space has already been leased, anchored by media company Condé Nast. But the floors with the best views aren't for rent. The developers of One World Trade Center are saving the top 3 floors for an observation deck, complete with food, drinks, and a small theater.
We're on the 102nd floor of One World Trade Center. It's the highest occupied floor in the building. It will be the observation deck. Open to the public. This floor is a 360-degree unobstructed views of the entire metropolitan region.
The building is by no means finished. In fact, there is still some heavy construction going on in some areas. But much of One World Trade Center has started to take form, and it isn't hard to imagine what the finished building will look like when it opens later this year. Jason Sanchez, CNN Money, New York.
Well, Thailand declared a 60-day state of emergency starting today after anti-government rallies became violent this past weekend. If emergency measures need to be taken, security forces have the power to detain suspects without charge, enforce curfews, and ban gatherings of more than 5 people. Since November, 9 people have died and more than 450 wounded due to protests in Bangkok. A store in Minnesota caused chaos on Martin Luther King Day when it announced their special sale on social media. As you can see from the sign, everything black was 25% off. The owner of the store says that this is her 4th year doing this sale on MLK Day and has never received this much reaction before.
I did this out of admiration and celebration of somebody who did so much for the world, for Black culture, somebody we admire greatly. It was done out of honor, and we're very sorry that we hurt anybody's feelings.
The store has agreed to not host the sale next year. Well, Jersey Boys musician Jeff Ray died this past weekend after being hit by a train in Seattle. Fire officials say that Ray was sitting on the train tracks as his girlfriend was taking pictures of him. No one was hurt on the train, although after the incident, passengers continued their trip to Seattle on buses. A groundbreaking moment in space exploration makes history. An unmanned probe called Rosetta has finally been heard from millions of miles away. It is on a 2-year mission that could potentially unlock our galaxy's deepest secrets. Indra Peterson has more on the mission.
Cheers ring out in mission control as European spacecraft Rosetta signals from 500 million miles away that it's awake after its 2.5-year hibernation. The reason for the deep sleep? Just like humans, the spacecraft needed to recharge its batteries.
Now we got it back. Now it's up to us to drive it to the comet.
Nearly 10 years, Rosetta has been chasing a comet through space, hoping to one day land on its surface for scientific research and capturing some incredible images along the way, like this one of the surface of Mars and this showing the moon rising over the Pacific Ocean. Scientists beamed a wake-up call to Rosetta early Monday, then waited and waited for word that their intergalactic Rip Van Winkle was again up and running. Finally, a tweet from space, simply, "Hello world."
I think it's been the longest hour of my life.
The stage is now set for what promises to be a historic spaceflight event.
This is just the beginning. Without today, without the wake-up, we wouldn't have a mission at all.
Rosetta will now scout the comet for the perfect place to land before sending a probe to touch down on the comet's surface in November. The probe, a type of portable laboratory, will map, drill, and analyze samples as it travels with the comet on a trip around the sun, beaming its results back to Earth.
I know that that's going to be a great adventure ride for everybody and return some fantastic science about the origins of our own solar system and potentially the origins of life on this planet.
And to end our news update, this past Sunday, a pod of dolphins decided to steal the show at the 2014 Rincon Classic surfing competition in California. Onlookers and surfers stopped to watch and cheer on the dolphins as they rode the waves. How cool is that? Well, that wraps up our Wednesday news update. I'm Caiti Blase. Have a good rest of the week.